And second would be the row, which keeps the weight close to us and directs the weight. Now, why do we need to bring weights to our shoulders? Well, it allows us to obviously do things like overhead pressing. It allows us to do things like squatting. It allows us to do carries, loaded carries, walking with weight in that rack position. And it's obviously a very, very functional movement. Let me show you. One way that most people clean all the time and don't realize they're doing it is this way. Look, it's a hip hinge and a row. That's a clean, right? A lot of people think they can't lift heavy weights, yet they lift shoulder all the time. That's squiggle and stuff, right? So let me put her back down so you can keep drawing. Now, again, if it's a deadlift in a row, so if you do not have the deadlift down and you don't have the row down, the bent over row, please go develop that. Work on it for a while. Work on your deadlift, work on your row, work on your squat. The squat will allow you to clean more weight. It's not necessary, but it will allow you to clean more weight. So here's what a clean looks like. Now, again, if you want to compete in Olympic weightlifting, you want to learn how to clean super heavy loads, go get an Olympic weightlifting coach, right? Go to an Olympic weightlifting gym or some good CrossFit gyms even. But what we're talking about is how to get the weight up to your shoulders to add variety to your exercises and to the ways you can load your exercises in your own home. So I'm going to teach you how to clean with a standard barbell. This is how I learned to clean in my mom's backyard. Made a lot of holes in her grass. But I'm going to try to teach you how to do it without dropping the bar too often. And the key here is build the skill before you add load. Take your time. Work on strengthening your deadlift. Work on strengthening your row. Work on strengthening your push-up. And take your time while you build this skill, and then you'll be able to load your squats and your overhead presses heavy. So, as I said before, you want to have a bar set to a height that you can pick it up without folding your spine. Unless it's super light, and this is kind of light for me. So I will go ahead and let my spine go a little bit, then get to my deadlift position and stand up. Now, whereas in competition, you have to clean from the floor, I see no need to do it in your own house. So get it up to your mid-thigh high, your deadlift height, and we're going to use something called a high pull, or I call it a float, to kind of get the weight going in the right direction. So first practice this. The high pull is basically, traditional high pull is basically hips go back and explode up. Hips go back and explode up. Now notice I'm not pulling with my arm. I'm letting the weight go up and getting out of its way. Now, I kind of like to pull the elbows back, and that's why I call it a float. I'm going to go hips go back, explode up. Let my elbows go back, because that's where I want them to be when I flip them over to catch the bar. Hips go back, up. And notice I am keeping the weight close to me the whole time. That is the only purpose of my arms in this, as far as I see it. Now, notice the weight's almost getting to my collarbones. So what's left here is meeting the weight. By the way, let me go up to take a step back. When you learn the high pull on the float, you must understand that your elbows do not bend until the weight stops pulling on your fingers and starts pushing on your palm. That's when I bend my elbows. So go here. And that drill is I like that drill, straight arm high pull. It's a good way of practicing that. Kind of getting that feel for the weight pushing on the top of your hands, on your palm, I mean. So anyhow, once you get that going, and again, take your time to practice that, build your deadlift, build your row, build your push-up, you can work on this. You go back, you load those glutes, load those hamstrings, use your hip hinge to breathe forward, and catch the weight. Notice I squatted down to meet it. The heavier the weight, the lower you need to squat. Again, if you do not build the ability to squat deep before you try to train, get good at cleans, that's going to be a problem. So build the ability to squat deep with your assisted squats, etc. Now, notice I'm catching it not on my hands, but on my shoulders. I can easily do this and have it nice and secure on my shoulders. It's choking me a little bit. That is normal, right? You don't do front squats for a gazillion reps because it is choky. Now, again, now when it's here, it's kind of hard to get out, but it's not that hard with a lightweight. The point is, could you do a curl? Yes, of course you could, right? But if you do an underhand bicep curl to lift it up, then you're gonna have to flip them over to get it in position. Is that doable? Sure, with light weights as you build your squat. A good way to build your squat, by the way, is doing what I was talking about earlier, loaded walking, right? Loaded walking helps you with that rack position. And if you do a lot of loaded walking and then you're gonna do sideways walking, right? Dance with it. You do a lot of loaded walking and then practice your bodyweight squats. Eventually you'll have a decent rack for a good front squat. Anyhow, now once you got it down here, right? Whether you got it up there with a curl or you got it up there with an actual clean, right? One thing that's not often talked about is how to drop it without banging on the floor, right? Because most people, with good reason, right? When you're lifting really heavy, doing Olympic weightlifting, there's no point in really lowering it slowly and under control. But if you're lifting in your living room and this spare room that I'm blessed to have now, sometimes you don't want to do that, right? So one thing that I've kind of like to do is basically reverse the movement. And just like I thrust it up with my hips, I catch it with my hips the way down. And then I'm back to square one. Hips go back, hips go forward and up. The heavier it is, the lower I can catch it. Stand back up, catch it with my hips. Again, even though this could be an exercise on its own, most of the time I practice it so I can squat, so I can press, right? It allows me, saying to squat, it allows me to press. Now, obviously the barbell's not the only tool we can use for this, right? You can use dumbbells. I don't have dumbbells, but I do have kettlebells. Now, the equivalent of the high pull with a kettlebell is the swing, right? Now, you can use one kettlebell or two even. We'll talk about both. So, with two kettlebells, the two kettlebell clean, again, like I said, the equivalent is a swing. So, a swing would be popping the hips forward and up. It would be a swing. Now, when you're going to clean that kettlebell, it's the same thing. As the weight goes up, you bring them into your body, drive those elbows under. Don't end up here, you end up here. The recurring theme is drive with your hips, use your hands, your arms to keep the weight close to you, squat down to meet it as the weights get heavy. If the weights are light, you don't need to do it as much. If the weights get heavy, you do. Anybody want to hit you in the head with a kettlebell? Please, you're bored, go out that way. So, like I was saying, I swing back, swing forward, swing back, and up. Again, my arms are basically keeping it close to my body. My hips are doing the work. And once more, I can do my presses here, I can do my squats here. Right? One arm clean, same difference. Swing back, up. It's a swing, but I pull it in. Rack it, elbow close to my body, instead of up here, because I am not holding it on my shoulder, I'm holding it on my whole arm basically. Now, sometimes you're using one heavy kettlebell, right, with both hands on it. If I'm using one heavy kettlebell with both hands on it, let's take this one, heavy-ish, right? I could grab it and do a curl, right? But it can get too heavy for that, right? So again, we can work on a swing. Pop, pop, right? And then pull in. Elbows in, holding it with the inside of my arms as much as my hands, And again, I got squats there. I even got presses there. Not the most comfortable press for most people, but it is a press. Finally, and again, recurring theme. Pop with the hips, pulling with the arms, squat on there if you need to. This is the heaviest weight I'm going to use today, just because I don't want to empty my sandbag out. But it's the same idea, right? You're going to grab it with the hands. Duh. Silly statement there, whatever. You're going to pop with the hips, pulling with the hands, catching a squat. Got my nice hip hinge position, pull in, catching a squat. Again, obviously, I dropped my sandbag. Why? It's made out of sand. Won't ruin my floor. Really close to the body, like any deadlift, it's on top of my feet. Again, it's made out of sand. I pop the hips, pull in, meet in a squat. When I meet it, I pull it into me, drive my chest into it, just like I do with the other implements. That took my breath away. It's not that easy. Anyhow, that's how you bring weights to your shoulders. Okay, I'll come back with something else. Hope you enjoy this.